Gardening at Home, Lesson 5, Planting in Containers, presented by Cornell Cooperative Extension of St. Lawrence County and 4-H. Last week, we learned how to make containers from recycled bottles. Over the last few lessons, we have also talked about choosing a spot outside for your garden, either in the ground or in containers. Have you chosen a spot in your yard for your garden? I'd love to hear about it. Leave me a message in the comments or email me. Since it's been a cold spring, it gives us the opportunity to practice growing things inside. For this week's lesson, you will need plant containers, either the recycled ones we made last week or medium-sized pots, potting soil, sprouts or seeds, or both, and a tray that can hold water. We will be using the recycled bottles that we prepared last week. Don't forget, your containers must have drain holes in the bottom. If you're using recycled bottles, ask an adult to cut 3 to 5 slits or holes in your container. Addie and I are filling the containers that we made last week from recycled bottles. You can see that there's some drain holes in the bottom, and we're using the scoop that we saved from the top of the bottle that we cut off. You want to fill your containers so that they are almost full right to this top ledge, kind of leveled off right here with soil. For best results, use a potting soil that is specifically for seed starting. So our container's ready. We have our soil just about to the top, and we are going to transplant our green bean sprouts. Ours have gotten pretty big. When you're separating sprouts, you want to pull them apart very carefully. Since we started ours in an egg carton and it's gotten pretty wet, it comes apart very easily, and we'll just pull out this one sprout, being very careful with the roots and just lightly pulling them. If they snap a little bit, it's okay, but you want to make sure this is the start of the root ball, what is down here, and you want to keep that intact. So now Addie can go ahead and dig a little hole for it.
Not deep enough?
Oh, a little deeper. Okay, and we'll put our green bean in there. And then we want to push it down and make sure that it's nice and set into the soil, and then cover it up. If you are starting with seeds, follow the same procedure we outlined in our video. Just be sure to read the back of your seed packet to determine how deep your seeds should be planted. So once your seedling is planted and you've patted it down just a little bit to make sure that the soil is firm around it to hold it in place, you need to water. Now, we're not going to water from the bottom because these containers are a little bit bigger, so we're going to slowly water from the top. I'll hold the container, and Addie's going to water for us, and we add just a little at a time. A little bit more than that. And you'll see that the water slowly absorbs into the soil. You want to give it time to absorb. If you water too quickly, you may add too much. So if you water it slowly, it'll soak down and it will get to the roots of your plant. Place your containers on a tray that can hold water just in case any excess water is spilled. You can put your containers in a sunny window. On very warm days, you can bring your plants outside and put them in a sunny area for a few hours. Just don't forget to bring them back inside. Ask the adults in your house for help with choosing a good spot for growing. If you are growing spinach, lettuce, or kale, you will be able to harvest some of your crop in just a few weeks. Next week, we will check in on our sprouts and talk about what else you can grow in your garden. Thanks for joining me for Gardening at Home Lesson 5. If you have any questions, you can email me at jtc292@cornell.edu.